My guest now, today introducing legislation, the repeal amendment on the House floor. The amendment would return power to the local and state level, allowing states to repeal any federal laws or regulations they consider misguided. Congressman Rob Bishop, Republican of Utah, sits on the House Rules Committee and is now in this Fox Business exclusive. Good to have you with us, Congressman, and congratulations.
Thank you.
The idea is straightforwardly to return power to the states and diminish that of the federal government. It's quite a remarkable effort.
Well, we believe simply that the concept of the Constitution was that there should be checks and balances at all levels. And traditionally, we only talk horizontally about the three branches of government,
right.
But the Founding Fathers were equally important on a vertical one between the states and the federal government. I think over the past 5 decades, that's been significantly eroded. So the Repeal Act is a way of giving the states a tool so they don't control the federal government, but they can have a say, and they can basically say if 2/3 of the states think something is wrong, there probably is a problem there, and we're asking the federal government to look at it again. I think it's fair.
You're being very nice about it. You're just asking the federal government to do something about it. Why not just repeal the 17th Amendment and be done with it?
Well, that possibly could be there as a solution, except I think this is a broader issue.
All right.
This allows the states to have a greater say, and it's not going to be an ideological issue or a geographical one. It allows them to have a say on laws, on regulations. Let's face it, even Congress doesn't have the ability of actually handling many of the regulations that come out of the executive branch agencies. This would allow the states to say, this mandate, this regulation, it's onerous, it's repealed. If Congress wants to go ahead and do it again, they have the power to do that. But what I think would...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, what I think it would do in practicality is force Congress and the administrative agencies to finally talk to the states ahead of time if they know that they have this particular power. It might actually be a win-win for us all.
A win-win for us all. And what would be the first thing, if you had this win-win for us all, what would be the first law, first regulation that you would get rid of?
You know, there are many going from...
Let me rephrase that. Which would you seek the greatest counsel from the people?
First of all, I'm a teacher, so I would look at a lot of the education rules and regulations from No Child Left Behind. EPA is an issue. For the West, wildlands is an issue.
How about Obamacare?
I think there's a whole bunch of things. That is also in the mix, so that's one of the possibilities that could be there.
If you got this thing rolling, what would be wrong with going back and taking out the 16th Amendment while we're at it? Go back, 1913 was a bad year. Just nullify everything that was done in the 1913. What do you think?
Well, there's a great deal of stuff that happened in the progressive era that I'd like to change. However, to be fair, there's a repeal amendment does not repeal an amendment in the Constitution. You'd have to do something else to do those.
Well, Congressman, how much support do you have? What do you think the outcome will be?
Every amendment has a hard row. The odds are against it. But the odds were against every amendment that went to the Constitution. People said you'll never get the women's suffrage through either. I think this is an issue, though, that is not a partisan issue. I don't intend to sell it as a partisan. It's an idea that I think should sell to both parties, to all regions. I want the idea to sell itself. It's going to take a while, as they all will and should be, but I think it can be done.
Strengthening federalism itself. Congressman, thank you very much. Rob Bishop. By the way, there are a host of these things I'd like to send you for your consideration for veto. We're going to once again say thank you very much, Congressman.
Up next year, I'll be happy.
You got it.